Welcome to the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Here we chat to some of today's best small business leaders, individuals who are shaking up their industry and dominating their niche. The show tackles all things business growth, from strategy, marketing and branding, and delves into the secrets of what it takes to dominate your niche. The aim of this podcast is to empower founders with big dreams, small and micro businesses, and even solopreneurs who are looking to make a big impact. People who are hungry to learn from those who have gone before them and implement that knowledge to next level in their own business. So, welcome, lean in, and then go take action to propel yourself towards dominating your niche in your small business. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to Amanda Fitzgerald, who is known by her clients as the ultimate door opener. She's a PR and visibility strategist, passionate about training entrepreneurs to successfully pitch to the press and get super visible using the power of PR so that they create a surge of new client inquiries, book reviews, and interviews. She has helped people to get their dream publications and outlets, such as ITV's This Morning, Forbes, the Sunday Times, the Telegraph, Ranconter, Daily Mail, the Metro, just to name a few. Cannot wait to hear your story and learn from you, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Ruth. Thank you very much for the invite.
You are welcome. It's great to have you here. So, Amanda, I'd love to know a little bit about your business. What is your niche and how did you come to dominate it?
Ooh, what is my niche? My niche is the PR world. I am known as the ultimate door opener, and I was christened that quite a good few years ago, about, 8 years ago or something. And that is because I managed to get a client a 4-page spread in Psychologist magazine. And that was the only magazine she wants to get into. And she goes, Amanda, you go figure, get me into Psychologist. I've been collecting it for so many years. And she said, I only want to be in Psychologist because that is my area. And I thought, okay, let's try it. So the minute you do something and it works, you start doing it again. More people find out about you. And that is how you start to dominate your niche, and you get referrals, you get visible, you build your authority. And it's literally, I'm helping people dominate their niche because they're getting into the press and they're getting publicity. I'm passionate basically about giving people the fishing rod so they can go and fish for their own press coverage, reel in those massive PR fish and be seen everywhere.
I love it. So you basically empower micro business owners or solopreneurs, micro businesses and small businesses with the ability to do their own PR so that they can build their own authority and start to dominate their niche.
Yeah, and do you know, really interesting, you're saying micro businesses. I've recently had inquiries, about 3 now, from like multi-million pound CEOs who want to do it themselves as well.
All right, congratulations. Amazing. So what I would love to know is, how did you get to this point? What have been the key things that you have done yourself to position you where you're at?
I started off the business because it was an unmet need. Now, how many people are out there running their businesses, listening to this, saying, yeah, I actually started my business because I didn't find what I needed at that time. So at the time, I was running a luxury knitwear e-commerce store, and I did about 125 pop-up shops, and it killed me because I had 2 young children and having to drive across the country to set up the shops to sell face to face. And it was like, oh my God, it is so exhausting. My mum had a very successful company which was in the press all the time. And she goes, Amanda, why aren't you getting press coverage? That is how people discover you. So I found an email recently to a friend who was a PR agent. And I said, my mum's, in capital letters, nagging me to get PR. So I went about getting the press coverage for myself. And I managed to get into Vogue, Marie Claire, You magazine, all the major nationals and the glossies. It's like, okay, I've managed to crack that code. I've made a lot of mistakes. I got blacklisted once or twice by a few journalists.
I can imagine. I like that.
Yeah, honestly, this one woman was up a ladder. She was a fashion stylist and she was shooting like the latest Louis Vuitton handbag or whatever. Is that Amanda? And I said, yes, it is. Thinking, oh, great. you have called me 7 times now. Never call me again. I thought, oh my God, okay, fine, darling, chill. But basically, that was me not having a PR campaign and structure. I was just literally doing random ad hoc phone calls. So I've learned all the essential things for the PR process, which we set up a PR agency. So we did people's PR, like I said at the beginning, but getting this woman into psychologists. I managed to get Marissa Peer 2 TEDx talks. Some people know her, big name, and other people, some brilliant press coverage. But actually, my main passion is teaching people how they can go ahead and do it. But all of my learning comes from me doing it for myself and also running the agency, doing it for clients. So that is why I can dominate my niche, because I'm walking the talking every day, constantly having to do pitches for myself, because one of my mentors said, Amanda, if you want to be doing what you're doing, you also need to be getting that press coverage. And so it kind of keeps your hand in, doesn't it?
I love it. So you mentioned before we came on the podcast that you teach something called the 5 stages of visibility. And I think this is going to be incredibly valuable for our listeners. So talk us through, what are the 5 stages of visibility?
Yeah, so if everybody can imagine circles, and you've got 5 circles, let's call them purple circles, and I'm going to tell you what to fill in. And they're all kind of like in a semicircle, and then there's a massive circle, which is your stage. So whatever colour you'd love your stage to be. So my colour, my branding is fuchsia. So the stage is fuchsia, and then you've got the 5 big circles. So stage number 1 is backstage. Okay, so it's backstage, your stage, their stage, open stage, and my main stage. And this came to me, I've been running my business now for 10 years, and suddenly, you know, how those little downloads?
Yeah, an epiphany.
The epiphany, January, it's like, oh my God, this stage system came. It's like, oh my God, it's killer. So backstage is all about the preparation and planning for you to dominate your niche, because people come to me because they want to dominate their niche. So they're preparing the planning of their stages. So that is getting your messaging right. Nobody understands what the hell you do. Are you talking jargon? When you stand up at your networking events, are people going, what is it you do again? I heard you speaking, I love your dress, but sorry, what is it you do? So you need to get your message right. But another major M is your mindset when you're preparing your stages, because people want to get press coverage, or they want to get extremely visible everywhere, but they just, that mindset, it's those mind monkeys, the imposter syndrome, everything says, no, you're not good enough. No, don't do it. You're a show off. No, self-promotion is a horrible thing to do. So we've got to get that sorted out before you start doing anything else. So backstage, you know, imagine you're at a theatre and you're getting all your hair and makeup done, you're learning your lines. That is literally what you're doing. You're learning your lines.
It's getting ready to get visible.
Correct. Yeah, it's getting your mindset.
Interestingly, so many people don't do that part. They don't work on their messaging and they don't work on their mindset. And it's very evident with the results that they're getting.
Exactly. And it's confusing for the potential buyers, or maybe they're not even attracting potential buyers. Nobody's making inquiries because people don't actually understand what they're doing.
That messaging has to land, and it has to connect with people in a way that makes them think, that's me, I need that, and then take action to come into your world. So for anyone who's not got that right, that would be a really great place to start working, I imagine, is messaging and mindset.
Absolutely. Now we have invented something called the Nail It in 8, which you can slot into your backstage, and it's, what do you do? Describe what you do literally in 8 words or less. Okay.
What's yours?
I've got so many networking events, and people have got these reams of paper, you know, like the BNI or the wherever else it is. Like I used to go to this thing called the Kick-Ass Dinner, ladies' dinner, and then you'd have 30 people to get around before you started eating and chit-chatting. It's like, oh my God, get it over and done with. Don't give us all these really weird...
A lot of hangry women in that room, I imagine. Get on with your pitch.
Yeah, enough already.
What my dinner.
Yeah, what a dinner. It was amazing. However, this Nail It in 8 is literally, I train entrepreneurs how to secure game-changing press coverage.
I love it. I love it. And I love that you've been cheeky with the word count as well.
Yeah, no, let's call it 9.
Let's bend the rules. I love a little rule bend.
Yeah, amazing. And then add in your so that. so that you can attract clients overnight, so that you can be seen as the thought leader in your industry, so that you can dominate your niche. It all comes back to dominating your niche, Ruth.
So that's your first pillar of
Yeah.
5 stages of visibility. What's the next one?
Your next one on your circles is your stage, okay? So that's all about you, what you're doing with your SEO, your keywords. What is your social media strategy like? I'm not a social media manager, but what I tell you is make sure that what you're putting out there is going to be attractive enough potentially for a journalist. And so often, I've just been speaking to somebody, a prospect, and she's putting out so much amazing content on her social media, but she's leaving money all over the table because she's not sharing it with journalists. It's like 5 steps on how to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, oh my God, the journalist would soak that up in an instant. So it's your stage. What are you putting out there on your channels and your platforms? And all of that is building up the essential KLT. What's that, Ruth?
Know, like, trust. I love it. I love it.
There you go. So that's your stage.
So what's the next one?
So stage number 3 is doing what I'm doing. I'm being a guest on your beautiful podcast. So it's their stage. So it's guest expert slots in people's Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups or wherever, or doing LinkedIn lives with people. So it's their stage. It's doing partnerships, collaborations, speaking gigs, because you're going to be on their stage. You might be invited to talk at an event, and it's podcasts. So that is it.
Leveraging other people's audiences.
I love it. You are niching it down. Yeah.
Very nice.
A great descriptor. And then,
and can I ask, for you personally, what have been your best examples of you yourself leveraging other people's audiences? Maybe one story where you've just had a massive win that's come out of doing something on somebody else's stage.
I think it's literally standing up and giving a talk at an event, and then people flood around and they want to speak to you and they literally book you in. Seriously, like I was at an event very recently at Brand New magazine, and it was showtime. And do you know what? This is even stranger. So this lady didn't even go to the event. She saw the after event footage, because I was the hostess of the media panel with my Captain PR hat on and glitzy glammy, my golden jacket and everything. And she kind of saw what I'd put together, and she was seeing all the comments and everything. We had a discovery call. As a result of that could turn into a high ticket client.
Congratulations. I love it. So in terms of visibility, speaking is amazing, but it's often not the people who are in the room that become the clients. It's people who see you speaking on social media. So for anyone who is utilizing that strategy of speaking on events, make sure you're talking about it, because I've got examples as well myself, Amanda, where I've gained, I'm trying to think of what, just clients who've seen me speak and they've connected because I've tagged somebody else in a post from the event, and they've seen me having the authority within my niche because I'm speaking. They've then watched me for a little bit and come closer and closer until they've become a couple of instances like some of my favorite clients, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I have many favorite clients, by the way.
Yes,
of course.
We do. And even the ones who no longer work with us, they're still our favorites. But I remember learning many years ago, like at the very beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, this woman who was on stage, not literally on stage, but there's people sitting in chairs, and she was in front of all of us. And she goes, "What's the difference between me and you?" And nobody could understand what it was. And she goes, "I'm on stage. I am the authority. All eyes are on me, and I'm teaching you how to do it." I thought, Oh my God, that's manna from heaven. Little did I know that all of this was going in by osmosis.
Yeah.
And I was going to then start teaching.
And speaking on events is an amazing way to build your authority in whatever it is that you're doing, because people see that and they think you're on stage, you must be one of the best. I don't know because
you've been handpicked for the job.
You've been handpicked. Even better if you can be on stage with a copy of your book. There is no better business cards. Nothing gives you more credibility than being on stage with a copy of your book. So I love it.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically getting on stage. And if you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's too nerve-wracking to get on stage. Do you know what? When I had my second child, my daughter, I was actually doing a business course. So she's going to be 17 in a few days' time. I was asked by my tutor of the business course, it's like how to run your own business. And he said, Amanda, you seem to know quite a lot about advertising and PR. Would you like to give a talk? And I literally went, and I thought, shall I? I actually thought about saying no because I was too nervous. And I just thought, do you know what? If I don't do this one talk, where am I going to go in life? What's going to happen? So I had to really get out of my comfort zone. I did the talk, loved it. And that was a way to bring in an instant handful of new clients. So people who are thinking, oh my God, I haven't got the knowledge and know-how. If you're an expert, if you know your topic, you can stand on a stage, and it just can just literally be that piece of carpet separating you and the people sitting on their chairs. It doesn't need to be you and bright, shiny lights in a theatre.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
There you go.
And also for anyone in that position, I would say start small. It doesn't need to be a massive stage. Probably not going to get booked on a massive stage if you've never done it before, but start local, look for opportunities at like local networking events, put something out on LinkedIn looking for opportunities.
Ooh, good
but
idea.
Just go for it and build your way up, and you'll be amazed at how much easier it becomes and the opportunities that come your way from my experience.
Yeah, and I'll give you a tip. When you are on stage, whether you're like a CEO already or aspiring and you finally do get your gig, I had this taken years ago. Basically, you're on stage and then there's somebody 2 or 3 or 5 rows behind. So you've got the sea of heads and then you're centre stage. That photograph is such an authority builder. I have got one which was taken back in 2014 and I still use it in my marketing because it was so powerful. So whenever you're on stage, get people in the audience, take a photograph.
Do you know, I had this exact conversation yesterday with one of my clients he is a professional speaker, and the conversation is, we need that shot. That needs to be the cover photo shot on your, the money shot on his speaking website. Yeah. So yes, I am 100% with you there. So the next stage.
Yeah. So next stage is called open stage. So that is you getting out there, out of your comfort zone, and networking, whether it's online, whether it's offline. There are so many fantastic groups online that you can do. Get out there, networking physically, building your personal connections and building relationships. It's really important. And then, like I was in a networking group yesterday, an event, met this wonderful woman who's sitting to my left-hand side. I need to contact her and get in touch, because that is how you carry on the relationship. She actually is not even in like the entrepreneurial world. She's a corporate animal, let's just say. She was such a lovely woman, but I know that we can help each other out. So it's not just, and also think about when you're networking, it's reciprocal. It's not like, what can I get from you? How can I help you? So that's what I say, get networking and get speaking. And I've got something called the elegant escape, if you'd like to know what that is, because when you're networking, because I gave a talk at the Albright about how to network with ease, and because some people just, most of us, I'm going to put my hand up as well, come out in hives at the prospect of networking. It's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I always basically go straight to the drinks department, and get a cup of tea or a water, so you can start chatting to people in the queue.
I didn't think you were going to start with tea and water, I have to say.
Oh,
I thought you'd be getting on the gin. I was like,
well, it's a breakfast meeting, so I don't want to come across as an alcoholic.
Is that not the right vibe?
God, to have beer. I'm a lager girl, to be fair, but anyway. If it's the afternoon, definitely go get your drinks, but basically start chit-chatting with people. That'll warm you up a bit, and then what you're doing is when you're chatting, you can kind of peruse the audience. Okay, I think she looks like my cup of tea person. I'm going to chat with her. There's a nice little group there. I'm going to go there. The problem is you get networking with one person and you're kind of like, you don't want to leave her and she doesn't want to leave you, but you need to, because the whole purpose of you leaving your lovely, wherever you are, your home office to come networking is to network.
Gotta work the room.
Work the room, get around. Girl. You got to get around. So your elegant exit is this. And people won't be offended. You just go, oh, I've just got to chat with so-and-so over there because I really want to chat with her. Or another one is just to say, oh, just need to go fill up my water again. Would you like to have another glass? So then you go and get the 2 glasses of water, you give it to her, and then you chat to somebody else. Politeness is key.
I love it. I'm having flashbacks from networking myself this week. I think I'm actually very good at networking and working the room. But I know some people, it is the most daunting thing they can imagine. So that was invaluable advice.
Sorry, I want to know what your elegant exit is.
yeah, it's generally point across the room. Oh, there's so and so. It helps when they catch your eye and wave at you.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, better go and have a quick chat with them.
Yeah.
I had one slightly inelegant exit on Monday, a room of about 300 people. I'd already sat down at the table where my name badge was and realised that I couldn't talk to the people on either side of me for longer than I had to. At which point I very inelegantly said, oh, this seems to be taking a bit longer to start than I thought. I'm just going to go and meet some people because I know I'm going to chat to you for a lot of the night. I'll be back.
Great.
And dashed off. Oh, it could have been smoother. Honestly, I like to think I'm normally quite smooth, but it didn't feel as smooth as I'd like it to.
Well, you just didn't want to break their hearts. Everybody thinking, oh, I want to speak to Ruth all night long. But yeah, you're there for a reason. We've all paid our train fares, the ticket price and all the rest of it. You're there to work the room.
Yeah, 100%. And I love what you were saying about following up afterwards. There is no point in being out networking if you are not adding every single person you meet on social media and continue that relationship. So for some of them, you're going to want one-to-ones. For some of them, it's enough just to be connected. But I always send a couple of messages on LinkedIn. I mean, you'll have noticed this probably when we connect, we might have been connected for a while. I will have had a little conversation. And that's basically because I want the algorithm to think that we're friends who want to see each other's stuff. Oh. So obviously it's because I really like and respect you too, but it was a little bit more strategic than that. So
love a bit of strategic behind the scenes. Okay,
so we're on to fifth stage.
We are at stage number 5. So you've got your purple circles, whatever color writing you want to put in, white with a big flash behind it. Main stage. Okay, so main stage is all about PR and visibility and publicity. So getting out there. Now, I've spoken to quite a few people and heard people saying, oh, I didn't know that PR was a good thing. Literally, PR can give you an overnight authority, overnight domination of your niche. So what is everybody fussing so much about, so much social media work, when they're not pitching all their good ideas and everything to the press? Because basically, journalists are on the lookout 24/7 for people like you, for case studies, for examples, for commentators, for experts, for authors. They want to hear from you, but they don't want to hear from you about how amazing your company is. They want to hear from you about how you can help their audience. So it's whether they're the reader, the listener, or the viewer. You've got to think about what is in it for that audience. So you're not going to go, oh, I need to get into the press because I'm a PR expert and I'm amazing at what I do. No, it's because actually I get into the press quite a lot because I'm a wild water swimmer.
I've seen some of that actually.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I just signed up. It's going to be my biggest swim ever, a 5K swim in Brighton.
Blimey, good luck.
And every year I do a fundraiser for it, the Afghanistan Asian Association. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's a biggie. So I get press coverage about that. But when they talk about Amanda Fitzgerald, they go, comma, PR expert or PR and visibility strategist. So you might be getting press coverage about your swimming, about your hobby, about your dressage, or about whatever. Then it goes, whatever that person does. And then people go, oh, I'm a swimmer. I run my own business. I need to speak to her. And I've had quite a few phone calls as a result of that. So don't only pitch the press about your business and your business ideas. There's many other ways to do it.
Very interesting. And I had actually always wondered, how does the open water swimming fit in the strategy? So thank you so much for explaining
my personal brand. It's part of the personal brand.
Amazing. So Amanda, you have shared so much value with us. I've got one more question for you.
Yes.
Tell me about a time when you failed.
Poof. There are multiple times when I failed. Oh my God. So when did I fail? Oh my goodness. But I think I've already told you that one thing. That was a massive failure, to not have a PR campaign sorted out and to harangue a journalist, not to take note of who you phoned. And yeah, and it was a really terrible moment. It was like, oh my God, I wanted the whole world to swallow me up when she said, never call me again, because she was a real key journalist who I've been following. And it's like, oh my God. I'd actually love to know.
Have you stuck to that? Have you never called her again?
No, I can't remember what her name was, but I really wish I could, because she was pivotal in what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I think that's a big fat failure. Another failure is, I'm sure people can relate to this, is you get the publicity and then you get people making inquiries, or just you get a customer inquiry, new customer inquiry, and you don't follow up immediately.
Oh my goodness, I see that so often.
Oh, I know.
So
And you
often.
learn from it. And it's like, oh my God, why didn't I? Oh, I was too busy. Oh my God, the other day I failed. Here's another secret fail. Oh, I'm so pissed off with myself about it. So I saw a call out on X, like a journalist asking for people who've got addiction. Well, they didn't say this, but I'm addicted to leopard print as well as wild water swimming. And they said she wanted to interview me about my leopard print wardrobe because I've got a massive one. And then my big fat fail was I didn't slide into my DMs inside X. And she sent me, Amanda, yes, I'd love to interview you. And it went dead in the dishwater.
Oh, how disappointing.
Yeah, I was literally late by 3 days. So never mind, I'm going to do an audit of my leopard print wardrobe and I'm going to stick it out on social media, say anybody want to interview me, I've got 50 pieces.
Do you know, we could go down that pathway, but it's probably time to wrap this up. Amanda, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to interview you on here. Tell our listeners, how do they connect with you? Where's the best place?
Oh, I've got 2 favourite places, but firstly, thank you so much, Ruth. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. So you can go and find me on Instagram. You can see my swimming videos. So Instagram's a bit more personal. So it's at Amanda PR Expert. Or find me on LinkedIn and it's Amanda Fitzgerald PR. Or my website, which is literally amandapr.com.
Amazing. I'm sure lots of people will be looking you up. Well, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Ruth. It's an amazing podcast. Thank you.
Thank you for listening today. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe and leave us a review. Even better, come connect with me, Ruth Ferreira, on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'd love to get to know you.